You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, pet parents. This is Michelle Fern, host of Best Bets for Pets on Pet Life Radio. Okay, for all of you dog parents out there, what is one of the most annoying things your dogs do besides maybe making a number 2 in the wrong spot? Barking, right? Big problem for you pet parents, big problem for the neighbors. I have a great solution. You'd want to stay tuned for this. We'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Dyson. The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to DysonDeals.com. DysonDeals.com to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson. Music to your ears.
Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I am so happy to introduce Juliana Campos. She is the product manager at First Alert. Welcome, Juliana.
Hello, Michelle. Thank you.
I am very excited to have you on Best Bets for Pets. Now, for everyone that's listening, what is First Alert?
So the First Alert is one of America's most trusted brand in home safety. So consumers are probably more familiar with First Alert in the alarm system, like carbon monoxide, smoke alarm system. So we're bringing First Alert now for pets, introducing the Bark Genie brand. The line of Bark Genie is to introduce ultrasonic bark deterrents in order to help the pet parents to train their dogs to stop barking or any other pet behavior.
So the First Alert product, pet parents out there, I actually mentioned the pet brand, but the product is called Bark Genie, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And one of the things I think that's most important, because I currently have it now, one of my crew members is just a barker, and I've had, friends and associates and guests write me, and there's always a barking problem. And one of the things about barking is that the only other devices I'd really heard about was one that gives the dog a shock, and a lot of people don't like that.
That's correct.
I know that the shocks, they just bother the dog, and it becomes a, kind of learned behavior that if they bark, they're going to get a shock, so they stop doing it. But a lot of people don't even want to touch that.
Correct. Yeah, and then that's where we come. We're promoting an alternative to that. So it's a harmless and humane alternative to stop that barking or to try to train your dog for that instead of using the static or how you mentioned the shock collars, which is another alternative, but we really want to promote. We launched the 2 automatic and a handheld ultrasonic technology, which is used by professional trainers as well. And it's a very safe, and it's a sound that only dogs can hear.
So in basic terms, how Bark Genie works for me, and then you can explain how, the more the technological way it works. It's basically emits a high-pitched sound that the dogs hear, but we can't really hear. And it captures their attention, and then they just stop. I mean, that's the experience I had. There's 2 devices, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. But with this high-pitched noise, the dogs it gets their attention. They just stop.
That's correct, Michelle. Mm-hmm.
That's basically the gist of the technology, right, as far as how Bark Genie works?
Correct. That's how it's supposed to work. And we have, like you mentioned, we have the 2 versions. We have the automatic, where you can place it anywhere in your home, or it could be outside as well. And you just set it. And as soon as the dog starts barking, that barking will trigger that high-pitched sound. And will eventually stop the dog from barking.
And then the handheld device, that you can just trigger. If the dog is barking, you can just put it on, and then it emits the sound.
Correct, because that gives you more power to it, and that's where we say you can certainly use that device as a trainer more so than the automatic version, and you can combine verbal commands with that. So if you have a dog, if you're taking your dog on your walk, a lot of pet owners have that problem sometimes where, the people are just jogging in the morning and they're just start barking at them, and it's early in the morning, 6 o'clock. So, it also comes with this nice adjustable wrist that, you can take with you during the walk with your dog. And then if you start showing that behavior, you can combine with a verbal command like no or stop while you're pressing the button, so he can eventually associate the behavior with the correction. And that, certainly will help you in the future where you might not even have to use ultrasonic technology anymore.
The box that's automatic has 3 settings, low, medium, and high. How does that work?
So the 3 settings, it's actually so you can set the sensitivity range by turning the adjustable dial. So we have a low, medium, and high setting. So then if you're setting it low, this can detect the barks from 15 feet away. So if it's medium, you can detect the bark from 30 feet away, and then high up to 50 feet away. That's why the settings are there. Because sometimes if you have, you're leaving your dog, sometimes people leave their dog during the day while they're at work. They leave them in a small room, and sometimes when people are just walking by the house or by the window or any similar examples like that you start barking, if you're in a smaller room, your dog doesn't need to have that the high settings turned on, and it could be just 15 feet away setting that you can use for that.
Now, does the sound that is emitted, does that bother or harm the dogs at all?
Not at all, not at all. That's a very, it's actually a distraction sound. Same way we would hear a fire alarm that distracts us from something, and it's like, you just want to walk away from that. The same situation occurs to the dog.
All right. Now, I had an unusual experience because I used the Bark Genie, loved it. It was amazing how it caught Nikki and Mr. Z's attention and just stopped them from barking. And they could be lunatics in the studio and at home. They could be nuts. But Nikki is a little bit of a nervous dog, and he did get like his little shakes that he gets when it thunders and lightnings with the Bark Genie. Now, is that really unusual for dogs to get, some of them get a little nervous with this? I didn't think it was a big deal, but the husband thought it was a big deal, but I don't think it is. What is that about?
I mean, like any other kids, your pets are your kid too. So you want to make sure it's safe to use it on your dog. So what happens is it can happen where some dogs are more sensitive to these type of, or any sounds. Like you said, he's probably afraid of thunder sometimes, so then it scares him. So some of the dogs are very sensitive, and it really depends. What we have, and I'll give you examples of like what we heard, which is a very small percentage, but it does happen. It really depends on the dog's background, and if some of these dogs, they get adopted from rescues, and sometimes people don't really know where they come from. I'm not saying that's your case, but it happens where they're probably a little bit scared, so they'll tend to, maybe have that reaction. It doesn't mean that's actually harming them at all, but it just shows that he is probably a little bit more sensitive to it.
You know what, as you're describing that, what it reminds me of, I kind of think of it in how it, in human terms, when I hear a cop car right behind me, I get a little nervous, and, you get excited and nervous, and then you realize, oh, it's kind of go around you. It's not for you. So that's kind of what I'm akin the Bark Genie to with this sound. Is that kind of what it's like, so we, as pet parents, can understand it better?
Correct. That is what it sounds like. It distracts you, right? So you kind of pay attention to that, and you're like, oh, so that's the same feeling of a dog. We can assimilate that situation to the dog, yes.
Okay, well, I think it's a great idea. It's such a humane way to treat, your dogs that bark and have this neurotic behavior. Now, can cats hear this too?
Cats, they can certainly hear it. It's not as effective on a cat as it is on a dog. They have different hearing, how should I word it? They have different hearing perceptions than dogs. So certainly it will not bother the cat. He might hear it, but it won't bother so much the cat as it does, it will work most effectively on a dog.
Okay, that was just curious because I was thinking for behavior training, maybe it would work for cats, but my cat's pretty good. He's a happy cat, so he's not at all destructive or anything. So I don't think he needs the Bark Genie. But wow, what a great idea for dogs, and what a great training tool. And it was amazing how especially with the handheld device, because that I could control and see when it was going on.
Right.
Just click it, and they just stop. I mean, they just stop their behavior.
Simple push of a button. Yeah. And you can use not just as a bark deterrent, and it can also be applied for any other misbehavior, like jumping on the couch or chewing in a shoe or jumping on the dinner table while you are having dinner. So it's just a better way for you to be able to discipline your dog to be able to get over those little misbehaviors of it.
Now, do you think dogs get used to the sound after a while, or is it such a high-pitched distraction that it's pretty good? I mean, it just stays with them.
No, and we do. That's a great question, Michelle, because we do advise consumers ahead of time that there are some dogs that might become desensitized to the ultrasonic sound. So that's why we recommend that it's used, the handheld more to be used as a trainer. So then you can train your dog that once he hears that's a correction mode. Now, as for the automatic version where, you can just leave it on, we do recommend that it be turned off when it's not needed to deter the barking. So then it doesn't have, so it prevents the dog to become desensitized to the sound. But yeah, it can certainly happen.
Right. And again, kind of like how I'm thinking about it, kind of like humans. I mean, you hear the siren or, ambulance noise behind you, you become aware of it and, move away or to the side or whatever. But if you heard that all the time, then it wouldn't be as much of a distraction to you when you're driving. So
correct.
It makes
sense. Bother you so much, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And most people also would probably benefit greatly, at least from the box device, when they're not home and their dog, or when they're away. Some dogs become very nervous when pet parents are away on vacation or something. So this is a great device to use too, so that they don't drive your neighbors nuts with the barking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have different scenarios, especially this one. It is a major one when people do leave them at home and then the dog owner is not around and then you have neighbors. So sometimes it becomes a problem, and then not just for the dog owner, but for the neighbors as well.
Where can people find the First Alert Bark Genie?
Well, right now we have First Alert Bark Genie at Walmart stores and online too. And for the future, we're certainly going to have them available at Amazon.com as well.
Okay, and is there a website people can go to find out more information?
Oh, absolutely. It's firstalertforpets.com.
Oh, great. Perfect. Juliana, thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling all the pet parents, especially those of dogs out there, how well and all about how the First Alert Bark Genie works. It's such a great, humane way to prevent dogs and hopefully eliminate dogs from unnecessary barking, neurotic barking, and that sort of thing. So thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you for having us and for letting us talk about, First Alert for Pets and the Bark Genie product. So I certainly hope to talk to you again.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank my test crew, Nikki and Mr. Z, who participated in the test run of the Bark Genie. Well, I can't say they loved it. It's not like a treat, but I loved it because sometimes these two are mischievous and bark like crazy. And it was amazing how well the Bark Genie worked. I'd like to thank my guest, Juliana Campos, for coming on Best Bets for Pets, telling us all about First Alert and the Bark Genie, and my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guests sound great. Stay tuned for another fantastic show.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Every pet is unique. Maybe they're gray in the muzzle, yet young at heart. Maybe they're growing out of the puppy stage and into their paws and ears. Or maybe they're just trying to maintain a more girlish figure. At PetSmart, we have the right food for your pet at a great value for you. PetSmart. Be better together.
Go to PetSmartDeal.com and save up to 30% on awesome gifts for the pets and pet people in your life. toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. Go to PetSmartDeal.com today. PetSmartDeal.com.
Victoria Schaefer, aspiring actress, babysitter extraordinaire, college student, and animal enthusiast, is on her own for the first time in New York City. Follow Victoria and her 2 dogs, Rue and Echo, as she cares for her furry friends and juggles home life and career, all the while managing to survive in the world's most hectic city. The exciting animal adventures and secret stories from both ends of the leash that make up the Tales of the City.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, pet parents. This is Michelle Fern, host of Best Bets for Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Okay, all you cat parents out there, this is for you. What do we hate to talk about, hate to think about, but it's a necessity if you have a cat? Yep, cat litter. But this is different, really, really different. I'd like to introduce Brandon Najarian. He is the Senior Product Manager of Simple Solution. Welcome, Brandon.
Hi, Michelle.
Everybody that's listening is probably thinking, okay, cat litter, how can it be so different from anything else and what have you? Let's tell everybody, what is Simple Solution?
Simple Solution is a company that takes innovation and looks and deals with what pet parents really want most. And so we have created a 30-day cat litter. The 30-day cat litter is pink by visual, and it actually has an appealing look to it, as well as being soft to the touch, where a lot of the competition out there is a clumping bentonite clay that is a little bit sticky. We wanted to give the cat something soft to walk on, as well pleasant when they are using it.
Now, you say soft to the touch. Is that for the cats? And also, does it mean that it's not going to stick to the cats as much?
We have formulated the cat so it doesn't stick to the cat as much. We didn't want to have that tacky feeling when you touch it based on just the natural attapulgite clay that we are currently using within the litter. It has a lot of great benefits to it, and one of those is having the ability of being soft to the touch.
That's pretty different. That's very different from most cat litter out there. Does it have a lot of the ash effect where you see the little, poofs of smoke kind of ashes when you're changing the litter?
It's actually a very good question. When we designed the litter, what we saw is we saw some pain points through cat parents that were always talking about the high cloud level of dust that they have when pouring out the litter into a litter box. We have designed this litter so that the dust is no longer a huge cloud. With any type of clay, you're going to have some type of dust effects, but we have limited to that with this litter. So when you do pour it out, you're not going to have that looming cloud over your litter box for a day or two.
One of the things about Simple Solution is that the message is that it's a 30-day cat litter. What are you doing? So I think 30-day is fantastic. The longer I have to go between changing litter, the better. But how do you do it? I mean, does it really last 30 days?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. When we formulated the litter and when we were designing the litter and looking at all the pain parents that cat parents have, we were looking at the ability to give more time or flexibility to the cat owner. And we believe that the pure attapulgite clay, because this clay is unique and different, there's nothing currently on the market like this. And with the natural properties of this clay, it gives us the ability to absorb more. So we're actually 3 times more absorbent than any clay that's currently out there. We're also very powerful with the odor eliminating technology that we're using. So most of the litters out there actually encapsulate the odor molecule. A lot of the clumping litters do that. So when you break that clump after a couple days, you kind of get that smell of urine. With this, it actually absorbs it and changes the molecular structure of the odor molecule to where it actually neutralizes it. It changes it, so you no longer have that smell. And that's what gives us the ability to claim the 30-day, never have to scoop your urine again. We're just trying to give time back to that busy pet parent, making the litter box actually flexible so they don't have to work for the litter anymore. The litter's working for them.
Okay, now, I think those are the two best things that could ever happen to cat litter. The fact that you don't have to change it as often, and the smell. And you need, if you have both, that's just happy pet parent, happy cat parent, because some cat litters claim that they're safe for the environment and they're this and they last long, but the smell is still there, the odor is still there, and nobody wants that smell in their house because it's disgusting, and it just is. And then some have, they get rid of the odor, but you're changing your cat litter every 4 days, which is a lot, and it depends on how many cats you have. I'm saying maybe 1 or 2. So that's phenomenal. Now, for everybody listening out there, I did try Simple Solution. I just tested it. Mr. Dennis was happy to test it. He is part Maine Coon, I found out. He's a big cat. He uses his litter box. He's a good boy like that. And I was thrilled with the Simple Solution. We actually tried it. I personally tried it at home and then in the studio. My producer, he's so picky because he does not want to smell a litter box, gave it thumbs up. He was thrilled with it. So that Brandon is just amazing because he's very fussy with cat litter. He makes sure, because he does not want, you can have the cat here, but if he smells, then forget it. And so that was wonderful. Well, let's talk about, what was it like creating Simple Solution? Was it just a different type of clay? How did you change it from the litters that are out there?
To be honest with you, it was a team effort, and I have a really good team here. And what we did is we went through research after research after research of the pain points that cat parents have. And really, the main one is odor. People are looking to control the odor within their household. So we went out and we searched the globe, and we looked at different technology and innovation when it came to odor control, as well as different type of materials and substances that we could use to help absorption, as well as naturally neutralizing odor smell. And we found that attapulgite at its purest form gives us that ability and that product. And so we worked on it, and it had been years in terms of developing this type of product, and we feel that we've hit the mark and that this would be beneficial for every cat parent out there. And you brought up a very good point earlier, is with the current brands on the market, you're currently using litter on an every day or 2 day basis, where as you're scooping out those clumps, you've got to replace it because that's the only way to keep that litter box full. Well, with ours, you dump the litter into the litter box, and you don't have to worry about scooping those clumps because of the absorption rate, that once the urine dries, the litter actually can go back to its natural state of looking like a dry clay. So that's why that gives us the powerful ability to absorb 3 times as more, as well as control the odor as long as we do.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about cats' bathroom habits. So basically, the big clumps, because I have a confession, pet parents, I make the husband do it, so I got involved with Simple Solution looking over his shoulder, but for the most part, he does it. So this is why this question. The big clumps are the urine, the smaller clumps are the number 2s, right?
That is correct.
That's okay. See, I did observe, but I let him do the main part of it. Hey, if he's willing, But so that means you just have to basically scoop out the little teeny number 2s, and then the rest of it you don't have to worry about, which means you don't have to change the litter as often.
That is absolutely correct. And just with the purest natural properties of this clay, it actually will absorb the moisture within the number 2, as we have called it, fairly quickly. So it actually dries it out, which helps reduce the odor within that part of the cat as well. So it's a 2-pronged approach, not only with urine, but also with the number 2s. It just has great absorption qualities, and we are happy and cannot wait for pet parents to continue to try this cat litter.
And for all of you listening in other countries, because I'm so happy I have a worldwide audience, number 2s at least here in the U.S., we call number twos cat, that's for poopy. So instead of saying cat poopy, we say number two sometimes here. So that's for everybody who's listening going, what is she talking about? What's a number two? I mean, I don't know if that's universal, but if not, that's the explanation. But getting back to Simple Solution, well, that's fantastic. Now, we've used it now 20-something days, and I'm going to go 30 or push it longer. What is the longest that you guys have tested without changing the litter, the whole thing?
Well, currently, the way we test our cat litter is we have a cattery that we use. We have tested a single cat home with this litter for over 45 days, and it has continued to prove that it can last as long. But as anyone knows, when you introduce a new product, to make claims that are that big of a jump compared to what normal cat parents do, that we thought that 30 days was a good stake in the ground, because we knew that this litter could perform for a multi-cat household up to 30 days. And granted, we know we're asking the cat parent to change their habits, and some cat parents will be reluctant to do that. We've just made it a little bit easier and more flexible so the cat parent can maintain their litter box when they need to or when they want to. We're not asking them to completely change 100%. It'll be a gradual acceptance, but we really want to give that flexibility back to that cat parent.
Now, when you say gradual, do you mean as far as introducing your cat to a new litter?
When I mentioned gradual, I meant just from the everyday routine of cleaning the litter box. With the current litters out there, people are rushed to clean urine clumps out on a daily basis, or the number twos out on a daily basis, because their fear of litter rejection, because of smell and because of the buildup of the waste that the cat produces when it uses the litter box. We're just saying gradually they'll trust the product once they see it actually working, and we believe within a first couple weeks of using the product, they'll actually get and understand how powerful and how unique this 30-day litter is.
Okay, so in other words, in the down and dirty kind of format, some pet parents might not want to wait the second day for fear that their cat, which is litter rejection, might decide, okay, it smells, I'm going on the floor, which, cat elimination is smelly, the worst smells ever. So you're suggesting that they just trust the method, maybe go 2 days and see it's okay, 3 days, 4 days, and so on.
Yes, I think by the end, within week 2, that they'll understand that they don't have to scoop the urine clumps because there are none. And when they go back to look at those, they'll actually won't know that the cat used it because it will already have dried and appear like it's never been used. And so they'll just have to trust the litter and use the litter, and as they continue to use it, they'll see that the claims that we're making for the 30 days actually work, and will be proud to let people try it. I think they'll be really excited and really happy with the results that they're going to get.
What about cost? I mean, I see besides the benefits, it probably is cost effective, and there's less damage to the environment with disposing of the litter because you have less litter to dispose of. So I see that as a big plus. What about cost effective?
Well, as we tried to develop a product that was beneficial not only from the features that we're including with it, but also from a cost perspective. Right now, cat parents tend to buy clumping litters in large poundage in terms of a lot of litter, 20, 30, 35 pounds a month, and they continue to reuse that in terms of that box. Well, we wanted to introduce a litter where you wouldn't have to use as much litter, so you're not throwing away litter. You're actually throwing away litter after 30 days. So we believe we're saving, and we know we're saving the pet parent or the cat parent money in a month based on they're only having to buy one litter box based on their cat litter needs for a month versus buying large quantities or going back to the store and buying 2 or 3 of boxes a month.
Okay, everybody that's listening is probably saying, okay, this sounds good. Where can we get Simple Solution?
Well, currently you can buy the cat litter in Walmart as well as online at Amazon.com. We are currently and continuing to add new customers who are carrying the litter, and as we add those customers, you can actually find a store locator on our website at www.30 30daycatlitter.com, and it'll help guide you through what the product is. We have a great video as well as different features of the powerful technology that we have, the 3-time absorbency, the ability to not have to scoop your litter, and just based on the attapulgite natural qualities, it's actually 50% lighter than your current clumping litters out on the marketplace, which is just another benefit. And there's so many benefits to talk about, but Featherlight is that benefit that pet parents will actually see.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Brandon, coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling everyone, all the cat parents out there, about Simple Solution. And for all of you cat parents out there, stay tuned. Check out the Simple Solution Facebook page. Check out the Best Bets for Pets Facebook page. We are going to have an amazing contest. It's a limited time, and you can get your own sample of, or your own box, rather, not a sample. We're going to do a box of, Brandon, we said 15-pound?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
It'll be a box of 15 pounds.
So stay tuned, everyone, because you can get your own 15-pound box of Simple Solution. There'll be more on this episode that tells you about the contest. There'll be more. Just check out our Facebook, and there'll be more information there as well. Any questions, send an email to michelle@petliferadio.com. Brandon, thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets and telling all the cat parents out there about the wonderful benefits of Simple Solution, the 30-day cat litter.
Thank you, Michelle, so much for the time, and we thank you for the FaceTime or the ear time with your listeners, and we really appreciate you and the time that you've spent.
Oh, you're so welcome. Pet parents, I am so excited for you to try this. Stay tuned. Check out my Twitter, my Facebook. Just do a search, Best Bets for Pets or Michelle Fern. We have an amazing contest with Simple Solution. Listeners, please stay tuned for this fantastic contest coming up. You can get a 15-pound box of Simple Solution that might last a single cat household at least. It will last a single cat household at least 30 days, possibly more. And you can just find out more information on our Facebook or Twitter, or send me an email at michelle@petliferadio.com. Don't pass this contest up. All you have to do is post a picture of your cat, and you have a chance to win a 15-pound box of Simple Solution cat litter. I'd like to thank Dennis, who very happily tried out the Simple Solution cat litter. It worked fantastic. He loves it. We love it because there's no odor. And we love that we do not have to, at least the hubby loves that he doesn't have to change the cat litter much. So, wonderful product. I'd like to thank my producer, Mark Winter, for making me and my guest sound fantastic. And I'd like to thank all the pet parents out there for making Best Bets for Pets one of the top-rated shows on the internet for pet products. Thank you very much. Keep listening. We have a lot of great shows coming up.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.